Hi, my name is Jure from Collab, a Brazilian collective that works with community networks. This video aims to share things I've learned in a fellowship trip in an event about decentralized web, the Dweb Camp in California, USA. It happens that nowadays, the predominant web's logic is centralized. Users send massive amounts of data to centralized servers, and a few companies have access to an unheard of number of personal data of a large part of the world population. This has led to several problems that require the construction of a new logic for the web, and that was exactly what I intended to follow up in the Dweb Camp.
Já escovei os meus caninos e todos os outros dentes. Já vesti minha capa de pijamas com listras e enfeites. Dei boa noite pra todos na sala.
Camp that brought together a lot of people interested in building a decentralized, safe, private and fun web. The Dweb Camp was a 4-day event with a very large schedule, which included from body activities to discussions about the newest decentralized communications protocols. Community network and mesh network activities were also in the schedule. I got there a few days before the event started to help in the camp construction. A bunch of very high-spirited volunteers were performing all of kinds of activities, setting up the tents, cooking, and setting up a mesh network that would be available to the next days. The opening was a very beautiful ceremony where people from different parts of the world shared one word in their own native language. In the midst of so many activities, it was very hard to decide where to concentrate the attention. The Mesh Hall was a fun place with several tables with a lot of people suggesting activities to show their own projects. I joined a talk with Mitra, a guy that works with Internet in a Box. Internet in a Box is a low-cost digital library consisting of a wireless access point with storage which users nearby can connect to. Mitra showed us a mechanism to use the Internet Archive inside the Internet in a Box, where the users make a request for files to the Internet Archive system, even offline. When the system connects to Internet, it will make the files download automatically. And then, when back to an offline area, the users can finally download the requested files. There was also a conversation circle about why community networks, where we could get acquainted with different community network initiatives in several parts of the world, getting to know each other as peers and understanding our similarities and differences. Also, talking about community networks, we had a very forcing activity, the activity Geek Free in LibreRouter, where participants configured a mesh network in minutes with their own cellular phones. Keeping the hands-on, the Mesh Playground was a moment to understand the mesh network created for the event. In this system, the radios are not the ones that make the decision about the route of the information packages in the mesh network, but a Raspberry Pi connected to it. This Raspberry Pi makes the routing of the data packages and sends it back to the radio, already with its right destination. Usually, to make a mesh network, you need an equipment with the communication protocols, like LibreRouter. Or you need to modify your radio system to one that allows you to install mesh network protocols, like LibreMesh. This is a good theme for future tutorials. Before coming back, a pit stop in San Francisco. Thanks for the night that we could spend at the Internet Archive. An old church That is the physical space of the institution that keeps the internet past alive. And that has been supporting several initiatives of web decentralization. In Auckland, I visited the Pseudo Hackerspace, where the People's Open Network has born, a community network where people share their own internet, creating free hotspots around the city. There, they develop the Disaster Radio, a system based in LoRa for disaster situations or places with few energy resources. There were only 4 days, a lot of things happening at the same time, and these are my personal impressions of what has happened. The feeling that remains for me after the trip is that the exchange I made with people from different parts of the world to decentralization and web paradigm change make the long-range actions stronger, but just makes sense if fed by the local work with communities and people near us.